Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. When you think of Bill, we hope that you will also think of his beautiful incense cedar and oak. Soaring into the sky, standing watch over the mountains and lakes, creating the air we breathe that nurtures our lives. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live on in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
I'd like to have a toast to Bill, and we always keep him in our hearts. To Bill.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here and making this a very nice setting for Bill, Marguerite, and Cameron. You know, we love you. We love Bill, and you know, I couldn't get to say goodbye, but I couldn't think of a better way to do it here. and can't ask for a better, very pretty setting. So thank you everybody for coming out and making the effort. Friends, family, all the above. God bless you guys.
One of Bill's and my first date was to go to the Who concert at Angel Stadium. Wow. That was in the day when they foolishly allowed it festival seating. Oh. And so we wanted to get good seats. So we parked overnight in Angel Stadium parking lot and slept in his red Beetle. Attempted to sleep because there was major partying going on all around us all night. All night. When we got up, there were drunk, intoxicated people lying on the ground, trash everywhere. I saw a whole cake. I saw the back seat of a car. I'm not sure how those things got there. But you'll remember in Cincinnati they had that, some people got killed by stampeded. And I understand how that happened because we were in line and the line was pushing forward. There was so much various fluids on the ground that literally there was a point when our feet were not moving. We were being pushed along the lubricated ground.
Wow.
But when you're 22,
No cares in the world.
It was fun. Bill, even though he was a very quiet, calm person, he took that all in stride. We just slid along with the group, and that was
well, he's going to a concert, so
yeah.
one of probably hundreds of concerts we ended up going to. But,
so are you going to tell me you didn't drink at all during that concert?
you know, we were not drinkers. People would ask us for drugs, and I'd be thinking to myself, can't you kind of tell we don't have them? I'm not sure. We were seasoned concert goers.
Yeah.
You name it, little clubs, giant festivals, all of that. But
and when you said all the drunk people, I really wasn't that drunk.
my story is that we were not two of those drunk people. We were vertical and moving, which more than you could say for
most.
you know, for some of those people. But we were into the music. Sometimes I would look at people and think, you know, you're not going to remember this.
Yeah.
You know, but Bill was so into the music. He couldn't have gone intoxicated. He wasn't a drinker anyway, but he couldn't have because he would not have been able to absorb, you know, that music that he loved. And so it was proof that you can enjoy music
Without being
sober.
high.
Without being high. And even though I wasn't, I wish I would have kept the diary because we went to so many different concerts, different venues. And probably in my storage somewhere I've got gazillion ticket stubs, but I wish I would have kept the diary at least of like date, time, venue, and who we saw, because after the years were kind of rolled together.
Foggy.
And yeah, but anyway, so that's my story about starting off. It wasn't our first date. I think our first date was All the President's Men, which was also kind of appropriate.
Started a whole new direction.
Yeah, and we were not intoxicated for that either. But that was one of our first. I think that was our first concert. So
I actually have a car story since you
All right.
started with that.
So what did he have? The 280Z, 260Z?
280.
280 when he. I went with him for the test drive. Maiden voyage. We went to the dealership and I was with him. And the car broke down. And I'm like, Bill, this is a good sign that you probably shouldn't buy it. What did he do? He bought the car.
yeah, when I saw the finance contract that he signed for that, I was like,
It's out of Brea somewhere. Yeah.
why didn't you tell me you were going to do this? Because we would not have signed that contract if I was there.
Bill, having to be towed is not good.
Yeah.
Not a good sign. But
he had
we all have good.
He got a lot of years out of that car
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
though.
That was a cool car.
Even the B210, oh my gosh, I can remember
B210,
that. Yeah.
That,
Oh
What
wow.
was it, like aqua color or something?
Oh yeah.
And that was one of
And even the bug, he had the red where
the red bug. When
Mike
we first,
had a yellow, my dad had a black.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He had the red bug, I had the white Mustang.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I was talking to Steve, And I was saying, I remember with the Milligans, you had that really cool red car, that Charger.
Charger.
And I know we all wish we had that one right now, right?
I had a Cougar. I had a 67
Oh yeah, the
Cougar.
Cougar. I remember the Cougar.
Yeah, green Cougar. After I burned the engine out of my Mustang,
Yeah.
and I got a Cougar.
I remember all
And
that.
Bill was really good at working on my car. The cars from before, everything was computerized. That was one of the things, many things, that I liked about him, because I am not mechanical at all. And he would, just lift that hood and go, oh, okay.
One thing you were saying is for people to wear shirts or different things for his music. Well, on one of my birthdays, or I believe it was my birthday, he gave me a whole CD set for Nirvana.
Oh.
And I have that at home, and I'll forever remember. I mean, I listen to it and what have you, but just the fact that all this happened and all that, it's just something that,
And Bill got a lot of pleasure out of giving that to John.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always, whenever it was anybody's birthday, he seemed like he would always try to what CD can we get them,
I would try to email back, and sometimes we would cross paths, and we weren't always close as we got older, but we tried the best we could, and we all tried to do different things to be a part of everything. So it's kind of how, when we grow apart and all that, that's how you have to look at it. But we've always been family. We're always family. We're always part of the Milligan family. They're always part of everything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you guys kind of got yoked
that's
with
right.
us.
Yeah, well, look what we got. But that we're blessed because you guys
for
are
better,
all
for
great.
worse.
So I can remember all the different, all the functions and everything. So thank you again. This is just, awesome.
And I would say Bill got roped into a lot of my activities. He was happy sitting home listening to his music and. Even years ago when we were talking about our end of life planning, he said, you don't have to do a big thing. Yeah, but he didn't say, I forbid you to do a big thing. That was his mistake.
That's go for it for you.
He didn't say, I forbid. He said, you don't really have to do, because he kind of knew, so I don't consider this, I consider this inappropriate.
I'm Bill's younger brother, Mike, and I just had two quick things. I like to say I had kind of a wild past myself, but fortunately I was never bright enough to know where to buy drugs, so I never got into the drug scene. And one of my favorite stories about Bill and Marguerite is, as a lot of you know, they met working at the La Habra Drive-In that no longer exists except on Facebook, where there's a La Habra site and you can see the back of the drive-in sign. And I remember Bill told me once, I was a senior in high school at La Habra High, and he said, hey, Marguerite and I worked there. If you want to go there, you can just tell them you're my brother and they'll get you in free. I said, oh, that's good. So I had my first date with this girl in high school. I was going to impress her until I said, we'll go and see, I think it was That's Entertainment or something like that went out. And so there was a line, and we get up to the gate, and the young kid's there, and he pokes his head out of the stand there, and he says, how many do you have? I said, 2. I said, oh, I'm Bill O'Brien's brother. He works there. He works here. And the kid looks at me and says, so what? Really? Yeah. And I've been shocked. I said, well, where do I turn around? He says, I'm just kidding.
That was it a blonde guy? It was probably Dallas Russell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Dallas loved to mess with people.
I'm so gullible
that I remember once I told my family, hey, you can not only get in free, but get free popcorn and sodas. That's all you have to tell the Milligans. And so, they would plan to come. They would come like in either the Charger, or what was that car you had, Clell?
I had a Newport Chrysler.
Yeah, the Newport. So I would tell.
Another battle.
So I would tell Bill, hey, a big batch of Milligans is going to be coming in. Get ready.
Bill used to tell me stories about people going in and they'd be in a big car with a trunk, and they'd say, how many do you have? 2. And so they go in, and I think he would radio ahead to the snack shack, and they would come and say, open your trunk. And they have 5 guys.
Well, I would keep a list when I worked the box. I would keep a list of single males coming in, or anything that looked suspicious. If a car looked like it was like low at the bottom, anything that looked suspicious, I wrote it down, and then Bill or one of the ushers would come up about an hour later, and I'd give them the list, and then they would go shake people down. And then they would bring them up to me. Then they had their choice. They could either leave or they could pay, and then Bill would haul them up to the box office. And
yeah, I knew people that lived in the houses above the drive-in too, and they said, we used to love to watch the movies from our living room.
Sometimes people would try to sit on the wall.
Yeah.
I feel like when we went in, Bill was always at
greeting us when we drove in.
Yeah, well, I would try to tell him if I knew you guys were coming, and I would just say,
Yeah.
you know, Milligan alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got set up.
And don't even start with the half-price pizzas.
And I would make, when we made the pizzas, it was like pre-cut dough, and I was allowed to put one ladle of sauce on, as much cheese as I want, but then I had to flip the pizza over, and so only the cheese that stuck to the sauce. Well, that is not the way I make
That's
pizza
not a
for
Milligan
Milligan.
pizza. Yeah.
So I would have to look and make sure that the manager wasn't there. I would load it up with cheese, put it in the pizza oven, and then get the
box ready.
so that I can quickly put it in there, because then I was going to have to clean the pizza oven because of the melted cheese. But Milligans were going to open up one of those
It was great.
pizzas, cracker pizzas, and be like,
What's this?
what's this? Yeah. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun to drive it.